Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. If you're someone who is constantly consuming information, you're reading all the right books, maybe you're signing up for every available masterclass out there, yet somehow you still feel completely stuck and unready to take the leap, well, you are in exactly the right place. Maybe you currently have 50 unread bookmarks or an entire graveyard of unfinished online courses you swore you'd get to. Today, we're dissecting a genuinely fascinating psychological trap that catches some of the smartest, most ambitious people out there. It's all about finally conquering that unshakable feeling of never being quite ready enough.
So, why do you still feel unqualified? You've put in the hours, right? You've done the studying, you've gathered all the resources. Logically, you know way more today than you did a year ago, yet that internal imposter syndrome hasn't faded one bit. Actually, if anything, it might be shouting louder than ever. You just keep telling yourself, I just need to read one more article, or I just need to get one more certification, or finish one more tutorial before I can finally start my project. But man, that finish line just keeps moving, doesn't it?
And that brings us to the core concept of today's explainer, the perpetual preparation paradox. This is the invisible barrier standing right between your potential and your actual reality.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how deeply counterintuitive this whole thing is. We're taught our entire lives that education and preparation are the absolute keys to confidence, right? But actually, learning more just to feel qualified, while actively avoiding practice or taking action, will literally make you feel deeply unqualified. Seriously, just think about that for a second. More education is creating more insecurity. Why? Because you're accumulating all this theoretical knowledge without any practical grounding. The gap between what you know in your head and what you've actually executed with your own hands just grows wider every single day. And that gap, that's exactly where insecurity breeds and multiplies like wildfire.
To truly understand how paralyzing this is, we need to look at the negative feedback loop. Because this isn't just a passing mood, it's an active, destructive system we unknowingly build for ourselves.
Let's walk through the exact anatomy of this trap. Step 1, you attend courses or read. You feel highly productive here, You feel like you're learning, but honestly, it's often just a comfortable, safe illusion of progress. Then comes step 2. You fail to actually use what you learn. The course ends, the book closes, and you do absolutely nothing with the information, which leads directly into step 3. Because you haven't applied anything, you still feel unqualified, which breeds intense insecurity. So what do you do to fix that terrible feeling? Step 4. You enroll in another class to get confidence. And this brilliantly illustrates how trying to buy confidence with another class just restarts a toxic habit. You're treating the symptom with the exact thing causing the disease.
But there is a way out. Confidence and courage build only through action. This is it. This is the ultimate solution. You cannot think your way into feeling confident, and you certainly can't study your way into being courageous. Action is the only mechanism that generates these traits. And here's the ultimate kicker. This is especially true when you are doubtful and scared. The fear isn't a sign to retreat and study more. The fear is the exact threshold you have to cross by taking physical action. Action doesn't follow confidence. Confidence follows action.
So, if action is the cure, why do we hide behind studying? Let's talk about passion beyond formal qualifications, because we often confuse looking qualified on paper with our life's actual mission. Let's move to and see how this builds a completely different paradigm for success. On one side, formal qualifications add credibility to a resume. Sure, they absolutely have a function, but they become dangerous, like actively hampering your ambition if you use them as a delay tactic to avoid doing the real work. True passion, on the other hand, doesn't wait for permission from a certificate. It requires self-work. Your actual level of commitment to your passion shows up in what you do to attain mastery entirely outside the classroom. Are you working on this when no teacher is grading you? Because that is the real test of commitment.
Let me read you a direct quote from our source material, because honestly, it's an absolute gut punch to anyone hiding in the preparation phase. If you wait till you complete the courses or classes to gain some qualification to do what you love to do, then you don't really love it. Wow. Just take a second to let that sink in. That actively challenges your real dedication. If you truly loved it, you wouldn't be able to stop yourself from doing it, qualification or not. If you're using the lack of a class as an excuse not to act, you might just be lacking true passion. If we strip away the excuse of needing more education, what's really left? It's time to choose action over empty aspirations.
Because what actually kills dreams? It's not a lack of talent. It's waiting for the perfect day, where all the stars magically align. It's waiting for acceptance from others, especially close ones. Honestly, waiting for family and friends to support an idea kills more dreams than almost anything else. It's expecting the journey to be all rosy and sunny. and it's fearing criticism from people whose opinions won't even matter in 2 or 3 years. So the crucial point is, it's completely absurd to let temporary, irrelevant rejection stop your life's work.
Which brings us to the ultimate mic drop conclusion of this explainer. Having great aspiration without taking action is same as doing nothing. Read that again. It doesn't matter how beautiful your vision is. It doesn't matter how many notebooks you've filled with brilliant ideas or how intensely you feel your ambition in your heart. Aspiration alone, without the physical, terrifying, messy step of taking action equals zero. It is mathematically the exact same as doing absolutely nothing at all.
We've seen exactly how the trap works now. We've seen how learning without execution builds insecurity, how chasing qualifications is just a hiding place, and how waiting for perfect conditions is the ultimate dream killer. You have all the information you need right now. The loop is exposed. So I'm going to leave you with this one defining question. When you wake up tomorrow, will you sign up for another course and just keep preparing? Or will you finally close the book, break the loop, and take your first real step?